watching KWQC TV, making a difference in the Quad Cities. Live from the Quad Cities, with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel, this is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, details on the 13th Quad Cities Red Dress Run, where women and men pick out a dress and hit the pavement for a good cause.
And setting thoughtful gardening goals can transform your outdoor space. We'll get some help planning for planting with Prairie Rivers Network.
Plus, a preview as Daisy Lane prepares for its February pop-up shopping event, showcasing a variety of items from QCA makers. You're watching Quad Cities Live on this Tuesday, January 28th. Now, it is another beautiful day out there.
Yes.
A little bit windy, but warm as far as January is
50s.
concerned. Yes, a lot of exciting guests on the show today, so thank you for joining us. I'm Morgan Otier.
I'm Kyle Keel. You'll want to mark your calendars for a very special art show that's happening Friday, February 21st, and it's called Art with Heart, hosted by Gigi's Playhouse Quad Cities. Pam Lynch is joining us from Gigi's Playhouse with all the details on the art show. Pam, thanks for coming to the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Obviously, you know, Gigi's Playhouse plays a big role in our community with the Down syndrome community as well. So talk more about Gigi's missions here in the Quad Cities and all the variety of programs that you offer.
Sure. So for those that don't know, Gigi's Playhouse is a Down Syndrome Achievement Center. We provide free educational and therapeutic programs for individuals with Down syndrome of all ages, prenatal through adulthood. The programs transition as they grow. The group programs are typically age segmented by teens, adults, you know, preschool, school age. They vary from fitness to kitchen to art. And then we have one-on-one programs that are literacy and math tutoring and speech and language therapy as well.
Yeah, you guys really cover it all. We're looking at some photos from some of those different programs right now. Also sweet. And so something new, Art with Heart. It's a first of its kind event for Gigi's. So where did you guys come up with the idea to do something like this?
Well, it's been milling about for a few years, this idea. It started as, oh, let's do a fashion show. Let's do an art show. Let's do a fashion and art show. And now we're going to do an art show.
There you go.
And it's really an art show / sale per se, but it's showing the community the abilities of individuals with Down syndrome and their artistic skills. But also we have art that's being donated by community members too.
Great.
Oh, wow.
So all the art will be available either for sale with a fixed price or via an auction. So there's a little bit of multiple things happening.
I love that. Everyone in those photos is so proud.
Yes,
I just love
they
those.
are.
Yeah.
And we're looking at some of the artwork that you brought with us today. So these are made from, you said community members submit their art, but it's also made from members of your organization as well.
Yeah. So a lot of our programs have some sort of an art component to it, but we also have an art explosion program where they are taught different techniques, different, you know, mediums, different styles, things like that.
Okay, so we're seeing some of them right now. I don't know which one that one is like directly
that
at
one's
the
right
front.
there,
And believe it or not, I think this one was actually made with paper towel tubes.
Really?
Oh,
They
interesting.
cut the ends and dip. Yep.
So what is that art called?
I'm not the art. Don't ask.
I'm putting you on the spot. Never mind.
I'm not the art leader.
No.
I mean, no, but these
They're
really
beautiful.
are incredible.
Yes.
And just like, I think there's something about having a piece of art in your home where like the creativity, like it's got a story behind it.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
And I think that's why so many people will be interested in coming to this event.
We hope so.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about why you think, I mean, because you have so many programs beyond Art Explosion, why art is such a powerful tool among participants at Gigi's.
Well, again, teaching them new skills. It's fine motor control as well, and it's eye-hand motor control as well. But they have a finished product that they're proud of.
Yeah.
You know, they spent the time and the effort, and they learned something new, and they have something, you know, as an end result.
Yeah.
You know, they can come to a fitness program, but there's not an end. There's an end result, obviously, but not a
tangible.
piece,
not as
tangible. That's
Yeah.
something that they can hold and say, "I made this. I'm proud of this."
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So how many pieces are you going to have on display?
Well, I'm not 100% sure yet. This is our first time.
Always changing.
Sure.
It is always changing. This is the first time we've done an event like this. I would say anywhere between 50 and 100.
Oh, okay, so plenty
and
of
they
choices.
vary in sizes. We have some big canvases, and we have some really tiny canvases.
That's
we
awesome.
have, again, different mediums. We even have, I think, a large knife, fork, spoon thing for the wall in the kitchen, and some aprons. So just lots of different art styles.
Lots of stuff to choose from.
We hope that, and tickets to attend our are free.
Oh, great.
It is a free event to attend, but it is a fundraiser for us. So we do hope that people will make donations when they're
when they're
reserving their ticket or when they attend. We will be serving cocoa and cookies because it's that time of year.
Yes, it is. As long as it's not 50. Well, you can have it when if it's 70. You can have it.
Yeah.
So proceeds themselves from when people purchase art. So beyond donations, at the door or anything like that, do those also go back to Gigi's?
100%.
Okay. So proceeds. What are those most benefiting as far as Gigi's is concerned? Is it programs themselves? I know. Is it a lot of people can participate at Gigi's for free, if not everybody?
Yes,
correct?
Everyone. Our programs are free for all.
Wow.
There's no cost for anyone. So all of the funds that we raise go towards our purposeful programs that we're offering. We are 99% volunteer run, so there are only 3 staff in the building.
That's incredible.
It is.
That is really something to brag about.
Yes.
Truly.
And we are 100% privately funded, so all of the funds that we raise are crucial to making our programs happen.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so fundraisers like this are certainly important. So you do not want to miss the first ever Art with Heart art show. That is happening Friday, February 21st from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Gigi's Playhouse over in Moline. Now, as Pam mentioned, that the cost of admission is a donation at the door, so it's free or a donation. Those donations obviously go a long way. And if you want to learn more about the organization, you can visit gigisplayhouse.com/Quad Cities. Pam, thank you so much for coming in, sharing some of the artwork with us.
It's beautiful.
And, yeah, it's
well
beautiful,
done.
and we can't wait to hear the success of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Same.
Still to come on Quad Cities Live, pick out the perfect red dress and lace up your running shoes for the annual Red Dress Run. We'll learn more about that and this year's Red Dress Fashion Show next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Well, you can call it a fun run, you can call it a costume party, but it does benefit a local charity. We were talking about the Red Dress Run, which is coming up in a little more than 2 weeks. Here with all the details on that and a really fun fashion show as well is organizer Rachel Weed. Rachel, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Morgan. I love being here. We are always thrilled when we get to appear.
Oh yes, I'm so excited to talk with you, especially when we talk about this event. It is such a blast. Everybody that's involved with it can't say enough good things about it. So let's start with the run itself. So it's coming up on Saturday, February 15th. So easy for everybody to remember, the day after Valentine's Day. Give us a little bit of the history behind this event. There's kind of a really cool story that dates back quite a while with this, a little tale.
Absolutely. So in the 1980s, and of course I'm on the spot, so I'm not going to remember, a lady visited her friend out in California, and she met up with his running club, but she was dressed in a red dress, and he said, well, wait in the truck and we'll come back when we're done.
Well, we don't like to hear that, do we?
I don't think so. And decided to head out with them as is. And so a year later, they flew her out, and in her honor, all wore red dresses.
I love it.
And now, all over the world, people will once a year, depending on their home kennel or their chapter, plan an event where they wear red dresses and everything goes to the charity.
I love that. A wonderful tradition. So who can take part in this?
Everybody, as long as you're 21 and up.
Okay.
Because we do have tasty adult beverages, or not, if you choose not to partake, but they're available.
Okay, so it's a party.
It is a rolling party, and we use run affectionately.
Right. Well, you know what, though? That's going to make a lot of people watching right now feel a lot more comfortable because then you can just kind of do whatever you want. I mean, if you want to take it super seriously as a runner, you go ahead and you do that. If you want to just have a really good time with a bunch of friends and new people, you can do that as well. And we're looking at some really cool photos from years past. So roughly how far is the run? I've been told you can't tell me a lot about the route.
So the fun part is with hashing. The route is planned out and marked on the pavement with flour, chalk, or sometimes cereal, depending on if it's snowed and you can't really see things.
Oh, okay,
And then you have to solve the route as you go. So generally, the Prelude, which is Friday night, and our main event are around 4 miles. And again, you can walk, you can run, you can do a mixture of both. And then our Sunday event, which is affectionately called the Hangover, is pretty short and just to get you out and stretch your legs and get the blood moving.
Yeah, get you moving again after a big day on Saturday. Okay, very cool. You guys are starting out at Frick's Tap, correct? In Davenport.
Yep.
And that's for the main run on Saturday. So everyone's kind of meeting around noon, and then you guys will head out at 1 p.m., correct? correct?
1:30 is when we
1:30?
circle up.
Okay.
And we kind of lay the ground rules and we do a quick intro for people that may not be familiar with it.
Good to know, yeah.
And then we go out after. So if you've never done this, you're not just going to be thrown out there.
Right.
We do a little intro and we go over what to expect and kind of introduce who you would contact if you're kind of confused or not sure, you know, what to do while you're out with us.
Yeah. Well, speaking of who to contact, this is an event that is organized by the QC Hash House Harriers. And you've alluded to hashing. So tell us about this group. I mean, this is a group that is worldwide. I mean, you can typically find these folks in really any community or region.
Yes. I don't know what the current numbers are, but it's definitely over 100 different countries throughout the world. Many in the United States. I mean, multiple in different states as well.
Yeah.
So, the Hash House Harriers were formed in the 1930s. British expats in Kuala Lumpur got together and wanted to do something for camaraderie, and I think the phrase is to work up a sweat and a good thirst for beer.
There you go.
So it's been around for a very, very long time. It's gone through different iterations with groups, areas. Everybody puts their own little spin on it.
Yeah, well, who can argue with that? That sounds like a blast. Well, as we mentioned, this is the 13th year. You all have been able to raise so much money. I wrote down more than $81,000.
That's accurate, yeah. This will be the 13th year, so over the last 12 years in our local community, $81,000 has been put back.
That's incredible. And you always choose a nonprofit or organization, charity. So talk about the organization that you all have chosen to support this year.
Yes, so this year is Tapestry Farms.
Okay.
And they are a nonprofit urban farm organization bringing our community together and strengthening our ability to embrace refugees in our area.
Yeah, they're a really great organization. We've been hearing more and more about. So they will be benefiting from this really fun event. And also this coming weekend, actually, there's a really cool way to kind of get hyped about the Red Dress Run, and anyone can participate in this event as well.
As long as you're 21 and up.
As long as
again,
we
do have alcoholic beverages available, and we just want to make sure that, you know, we're being appropriate.
We're being responsible, absolutely. But this one, not a run, but a fashion show.
Yes, and it's very unique, and you know, much like we take run and use it kind of loosely, fashion show is a little loose as well.
Similar, yeah.
So what we do is we take dresses and we zhuzh them up and make them unique, and we will auction them that night. So we'll walk out, we'll present the dresses, and we'll take them back, and we actually have some drag performers that have donated their time. So we're gonna have a little drag performance in the middle, and then we'll come back out, and the dresses actually get auctioned off of our models right there. And so you get to take your red dress home, and if you
want to wear it,
if you want to wear that, or if you had somebody else in mind that would look fabulous in it.
I love that. Well, we're showing one of them right now. So this is from, what was it, did you say last year or a year before?
Well, this was going to get sold last year, but the designer decided not to part with it because it's a lot of fun. And we are the QCH3 Dirty Pirates, so obviously we've got our skull and crossbones, the QCH3 on there. Sometimes we'll put feathers on our dresses, rhinestones, ruffles. It just kind of depends what the dress calls for. And this one was pretty well shaped as was, and
yeah,
you know.
I can only imagine how creative people must get at this. Roughly how many people would you say, and it doesn't need to be on point, like go up and model these dresses? Is it an all-night type of situation?
We try not to make it an all-night situation because, you know, we are having fun together, but ultimately we need to respect the space that we're in, because KSI has been very gracious to host us and let us
it's a great
use
space.
they are wonderful.
They are.
But it'll run probably about I'd say 6 to 9:30, 10-ish.
Nice.
But we have it set at 10. We always do 10, or at least we've held it to 10 recently, to make sure that we have an idea of how many people will be there in terms of the dresses, and then as you're bidding, you can know, like, oh, I've only got 2 dresses left, I better get something.
That is fun. That would be like just such a fun atmosphere to be in. So, and anybody can go to this. Do they need tickets ahead of time? Do they buy them at the door?
No, so that's the best part. Come and join us. We'll have a donation bucket. We would love it if you'd be able to donate.
Wonderful.
But there's no actual ticket cost to come and celebrate and participate and and hopefully bid on some dresses.
That is so fun. Okay, so the Red Dress Run weekend, it kicks off on Friday, February 14th. Of course, we mentioned that there's something happening on Friday. The main event is going on Saturday. And then, of course, that little hangover event happening on Sunday. Everyone's meeting at the coffee house there in the village of East Davenport. So if you want to register for the run itself, really the easiest thing to do is head to Facebook, QC Red Dress Run. And there are plenty of links on that page for you to sign up and be a part of the run. And as far as the fashion show is concerned, as Rachel just mentioned, you don't need to buy tickets for that. You can just show up and celebrate with everybody. There's the information and the address for KSI. Again, both events are 21 and up. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
We're really looking forward to it.
Yes, thank you so much for coming back and talking about this.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. Coming up after the break, guidelines for claiming Social Security and the many reasons why people do it too early. Our financial moment with Heidi is coming up next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Today, in our financial moment, we are once again focusing on Social Security retirement benefits. Now, if you claim before your full retirement age, your monthly benefit will be reduced. Still, a lot of people decide to do this anyway. So we're going to talk more about why. Joining me now is our financial contributor, Heidi Hugheskamp-Collins. Heidi, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. So earlier this month, you joined us and we went over some general claiming guidelines for Social Security. We revisited a little bit of why people do this too early. And there were, you went over 4 different points. Now, the first one, I think a lot of people can identify with. You talked about people doing this too early because they need the income.
Right.
And they think that this is kind of, you know, the easiest, quickest way from point A to point B. Claiming early because, and your quote was, at 62 years old, you've worked a long time. So a lot of people thinking like, I'm just ready to be done at this point, so may as well. Claiming early when you're unhealthy and you're married. So that one I found really interesting. So people are thinking, because I'm unhealthy, I may as well do this now.
Exactly. When what you want to do if you're unhealthy, you want to wait, because then if you pass early and you're married, your spouse is going to get a higher benefit.
Yes, okay. And then the final point on that was kind of in that same vein, claiming early because you expect to die early because somebody in your family did. So you think, what, history is going to repeat itself, so I may as well take advantage of this while I still can.
Right.
So all of those different reasons that you talked about. But today we're going to kind of highlight some of the reasons that, or some of the results, I should say, of claiming too early. So the first one being it permanently locks in your lowest benefit amount.
Right. If you take benefits at 62, you're going to lock in your lowest benefit amount. You're going to lock in your lowest cost of living adjustments, COLA, and you're going to lock in your largest benefit that's going to go to your spouse at your death. And you know, really and truly, I mean, everybody's circumstances are different. I realize that. Yeah. And some people have to take their benefit at 62. But if you can put it off, you're going to be getting an 8% return every year. And compounded, and when I say compounded, that means 8% on 8% on 8% on 8%. Okay. Which is really going to add up and mean real dollars, you know, when you finally do start claiming benefits. Yeah. You know, and 8% on a retirement account, say, or some other kind of investment account is a stellar return. You're not going to get 8% every year. Okay. I mean, and that's a guaranteed return. You know, so if you can put it off at, you know, at all, you should. You should. Okay. And kind of describe for folks who haven't really delved into this as much or haven't asked the questions, how big of a difference that is, that 8% versus if you were just to do this right away at 62. Well, as an example, there's an article in Retirement Daily that if you are a 62-year-old woman in average health and you know, put off claiming benefits, you've got a 64% chance of living till age 85.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
So if you put off claiming benefits until 70, you get to 85, you're going to have a 23% chance of living till 95.
Wow.
And if you put off, if you're a 62-year-old woman and you put off claiming benefits and you reach, you know, age 70,
Right.
and you've put off your, you know, benefits until then, you're going to be bringing in over $100,000 in today's
Just in
money.
that. Wow. Okay.
That's
helpful.
significant.
That's helpful. Yeah, it is significant. So claiming early and investing the rest of your money was the second point that you provided.
Right. This is a myth, and
Okay.
this is a reason why people, you know, put up. They say, well, I'm a great investor. I'm gonna, you know, take it 62. And then I'm going to invest that extra money and, you know, make $1 million.
Got it.
Whatever they say.
Okay.
So here's the, you know, going back to that compounded 8%.
Yeah.
You know, you're not, that's a great return.
And that's a sure thing.
It's guaranteed.
Right.
You know, nothing else, when you're investing, nothing else is guaranteed. This is a guaranteed 8%.
Right.
You're not going to get a deal like that anywhere.
Yeah, you're not a fortune teller. You just don't know if it's going to pan out.
Exactly.
The way that you're anticipating. And then claiming early as you're afraid benefits may be cut. So I'm sure a lot of people have this fear.
A lot of people have this fear, and you know, it really is overblown and oversimplified.
Okay.
And people end up taking the, retirement benefits early out of fear rather than having a rational plan.
Okay.
And here's the thing. So if that's your reason, then the way that you hear all the people saying, you know, the trust fund is going to go broke by 2034,
Sure.
blah blah blah. There are lots of really small tweaks to allow the trust fund to be viable. So as an example, you could raise the payroll tax a little bit. Mm-hmm. You could, put off the full retirement age. Currently for most boomers it's 67.
Okay.
You could raise it to 68.
Okay.
Then you could increase the amount that high earners are taxed as far as the payroll tax. Some people don't know this, but high earners are only taxed for the payroll tax that supplies Social Security.
Okay.
They're only taxed up to $176,100.
Okay.
So if you're a high earner and you make more than that, you don't pay Social Security taxes on that.
Wow.
And, just think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a lot of money to most of us, but there are people out there making a lot more than that. Mm-hmm. And if those folks chipped in a little bit more, that could make a big difference.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Again, it just, what you could be doing, what I find a lot, this is kind of interesting, but, people have 401ks, they have IRAs, but they're really afraid to touch those. Mm-hmm. They want to get to Social Security first.
Right.
Let that Social Security grow at that guaranteed 8%. Tap your IRAs, tap your 401ks. That's what they're for.
Okay.
And I guarantee you that a guaranteed 8% return is more than you're probably going to get if you leave it in the 401k or leave it in the IRA.
Wow.
And take your chances.
Good info. Heidi, thank you. I mean, it just goes to show you why it's important to ask a professional when it comes to this stuff before thinking you may know the correct route or the right answer. And if you are watching today, you want to learn more about the variety of services that Heidi offers, just visit her website. We have it on your screen, hhcinvestments.net. And a reminder, we have lots of segments that we've done together in the past, and you can see them all by visiting kwqc.com and clicking the tab for Quad Cities Live. As always, Heidi, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Still to come in our next half hour of QCL, Daisy Lane is hosting its first pop-up shopping event next month, just in time for Valentine's Day. We'll get a preview of what to expect there. And later, planning your garden goals for 2025. We're getting tips and advice on best practices from Prairie Rivers Network. But first, windy and warm outside on your Tuesday, especially for January. Meteorologist Kyle Keel will join us with your full forecast next.
And now your first alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Keel.
One thing our guests have said over the last couple of days coming in for Quad Cities Live, it's so nice outside, and that is certainly the case today if you can ignore the little bit of wind that we have, because you can see our Dubuque camera shaking, our Bettendorf camera on our Everywhere Camera Network shaking a little bit as well. You can see the flag is waving in the sky there with those gusty winds, but you'll also notice we have plenty of sunshine with a clear blue sky in place. But yeah, that wind will really make its presence known as you step out the door. We have those winds sustained anywhere from 15 to 30 miles per hour, but notice the direction of the wind. It's out of the southwest, so that is what has really helped boost those temperatures today. But with that lower humidity and that gusty wind, it's certainly a high fire danger day, so any brush fire could get out of control pretty quickly, so might want to avoid doing any burning. But temperatures hovering right around 50 degrees. 49 still pretty good this time of year in Savannah, Galena, as well as Kewanee. 50 right now in Princeton, Illinois, as well as Galesburg. 52 in Moline, and look off to our northwest. Waterloo, Iowa, sitting at 56. That shatters the record high of 53 that was set back in 1914. Our record here in the Quad Cities, 57 degrees, so we're probably going to fall just a few degrees shy of that. But that wind is going to continue here through the evening, but overnight we should get that down to about 5 to 15 miles per hour, and that's kind of where it's going to hover here as we head into the day on Wednesday. We're going to continue with the up and down temperatures over the next several days. We've got 30s, 40s, and 50s for highs in the 7-day forecast, and we're still tracking that late week storm that could bring us a good shot at rain, perhaps even a wintry mix and snow here into Friday. So still a little bit of a question mark as far as any snowfall. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But hey, right now all is clear here in much of the upper Midwest. Great Lakes region seeing some lake effect snow. That is not going to impact us as we remain with a clear sky heading into the overnight hours. You'll notice we'll have a quick shift in the wind here tomorrow, so no 50s on the board, but we'll still be mild in the 40s. Those northwest winds are going to continue here as we head through the day on Wednesday. But notice Wednesday night into Thursday, we get that wind more out of the south. That means Thursday is going to be another day where 40s and 50s will be on tap, but we do increase the cloud cover here late Thursday afternoon, and then rain overspreads the area here as we head Thursday night and especially Friday. But notice it's green, so it's rain, mainly rain, and even our in-house model right now not really depicting much in the way of snow until we get into the afternoon hours, and most of that is off to the east. But some of our global models still want to paint in a little bit of a wintry mix and some snow, so there's still some differences here in the timing and placement of the rain, but certainly something that we're going to continue to watch. Could get a good ½ inch, maybe 1 inch of rain out of the system Thursday into Friday. Maybe ending is a little snow, so we're highlighting an early first alert day here on Friday. But beyond that, not much of a change in temperatures as far as a big cool down. We'll keep temperatures in the 40s as we get into the month of February, and that is very warm for this time of year because our normal high right around 32 degrees. So once again, Morgan, no major snows in the forecast here for late January into early February.
It's kind of crazy, and you know what? I'm hesitant. Like, I'm not going to get excited and celebrate. Because I know we have a lot of snow lovers out there.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm included in that.
Yes.
But it's also because I know where we live, and like the big one's coming.
Yeah, we can't be too cocky about this really nice weather because history has shown that it comes back and gets us. So we'll just take things week by week and see how we fare over the next couple of months.
Absolutely. All right, Kyle, thank you.
You're welcome.
Still to come, 4 days of shopping at the Daisy Lane pop-up event set for early February. We'll get a closer look at the variety of items from QCA makers next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Daisy Lane Boutique. It's located in the North Scott area, offering everything from clothing to gifts created by QCA makers. And next week, this small business is kicking off a pop-up shopping event. Here to tell us more is Michelle Pratt, owner of Daisy Lane, along with Brenda Ernson, who runs her own small business. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, I should say welcome back to the show today, Michelle. So first, tell us a little bit about Daisy Lane and just what we can find there in store.
Daisy Lane is a shop that houses a lot of different makers and boutique items, so handmade items from sewn items, boutique clothing, earrings.
The kind of stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else for the most part.
Right.
If you want that unique gift or that unique item for your home or for yourself, you're going to go to a place like Daisy Lane.
Correct.
Very cool. Okay, so where did you come up with this really great pop-up shopping idea?
So life just kind of changed in the last month, so I decided to just try this, just opening up for one long weekend and making it available to everybody to kind of come as a destination and shop, bring in new makers, some returning makers. So we're giving it a shot.
I think that's a great idea. Absolutely. People love a little special weekend or a destination weekend. Brenda, you own your own small business as well, Created by Brenda.
Yes.
That's what it's called. So tell us a little bit about what you create.
So I've been sewing since I was a little kid, and then a few years ago I decided to turn it from a hobby into a little side small business.
Yeah.
And I started doing craft shows, started selling at Daisy Lane, and yeah, it's just kind of grown from there.
And are all of these items here yours that
I've
we're displaying?
made all of these items, yes.
That is really, like, you are really talented. Can I ask, when you started sewing, how old you were?
Probably 6 or 7.
Oh my gosh! And you guys heard me tell that story about how I can't get my kid off her of her tablet. So we've got some work to do, Darby. Talk a little bit about some of the items you brought today. I have a feeling that this is really popular. These are one of those like hooded towels.
Those are hooded towels for kids.
These are really, really cute. You really run the gamut. I mean, you have like winter gear here as well, like the headbands and the gloves. You've got scrunchies, different things. What are some of your favorite items to create and make?
I like making the sweater mittens. So these are made from upcycled sweaters. I usually use.
Oh, really?
So they're kind of fun to like. First, you got to go to the thrift stores and find like the wool sweaters or cashmere sweaters, and then you go through the whole process of putting the sweaters together and getting the right color combinations. And
that's awesome. Yeah. That's very, very cool. So loves making those. And so will these be something that people can find at the pop-up event? Very cool. Okay. And you have some little stuffed animal types of critters and stuff.
Yeah, they're little corgis, little plush corgis that I make.
Oh my gosh.
Or like some people think they're bunnies, but they're supposed to be little corgis.
Okay, they're so cute and they're holding little hearts. So something that will be perfect for the upcoming holiday. Michelle, talk about some of the other vendors, or at least some of the other types of items that people are going to be able to find.
Okay, we do have 3 different boutiques coming with boutique clothing that always tends to be popular. We have handmade clay earrings, the wooden signs. We have table runners, the refrigerator handle covers that I brought in last time. Those are back. I get asked messages all the time.
Hugely popular. Like those were like some of the coolest things I've ever seen. Very, very cool. And it's kicking off next week. It's actually 4 days. So it's going to start on the evening of next Thursday.
Thursday, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And there will be hours not only on Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Correct.
You have some special extra things that are going on as well, specifically for the weekend, correct?
We do. We do. We have a hat bar coming on Saturday.
That's fun. Yeah.
It will be there 10 to 4 all day on Saturday, and then on Sunday we have permanent jewelry from 12:30 to 2.
12:32. I've been saying for, I don't even know how, we've done this show almost a year, and I think from the very beginning I've been saying I need to get my permanent jewelry. So this may be my moment. Daisy Lane also hosts classes and workshop type events from time to time, and you're actually hosting a couple of those as well next week.
We do. Let's see, Friday night we have a candle making class. Saturday we have a sign class. Those 2 still have openings.
Okay.
Then we have our chunky hand knit blanket class, which is always popular, but it is sold out.
It is sold out. I went on your website today and I told Claire, I said, I love these chunky blankets so much. Like, to learn how to make one myself and bring it home would be amazing. And then I go, oh, it's sold out.
Yeah, those ones tend to sell out pretty quick, but the other 2 do still have openings on Friday night and Saturday afternoon.
Okay, and we'll show the website at the end of the segment here so that people can go on. That's the easiest way really to get your spot to one of these workshops. Brenda, I wanted to ask you, I mean, you know, having started selling, creating and selling your own items, how important are pop-up events like this, or just small businesses like Michelle's, when it comes to being able to get your items out there?
Yeah, they're vital, you know, to small business owners, and it's a great way to get out, to get your stuff out, you know, for people to buy, and like, that's kind of the only way for people to, you know, you got to get out there for people to shop, because people like shopping in person as opposed to, you know.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, like, the internet and all of that is wonderful, and Facebook, and to be able to, you know, go online and pick out that exact thing. But I think just to get people to see your stuff in person first, to be able to touch it and know that they love it, and then it's like you have a customer for life after that. So very cool. Well, Daisy Lane is located on Parkview Drive in Parkview, Iowa. That pop-up shopping event, it runs from next Thursday Thursday, February 6th through Sunday, February 9th. To learn more, or if you want to register for one of the workshops that Michelle just talked about, visit daisylanens.com. Michelle, thank you so much. Brenda, thank you for bringing all of your items with you today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's going to be a fun event. Coming up after the break, create your own thriving ecosystem with some tips about what to plant in your garden this spring. Prairie Rivers Network joins us next. Coming up tomorrow on Quad Cities Live, Art with Atticus, an instructor-led intuitive painting class aimed toward helping participants release emotions and express their own creativity.
Plus, growing and blooming during the winter months. Wallace's Garden Center will be here with options for indoor plants and flowers that even beginners can competently take care of. Yeah, piquing Morgan's interest, right?
Right.
That more tomorrow on QCL. I'm right there with you, Elle.
Lots to look forward to. Well, it may seem like gardening season is far away, but it's never too early to start planning out what to plant.
Yeah, and here to help us make some of those sustainable choices is Nina Struess from Prairie Rivers Network. Nina, welcome back. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, never too early to talk about our gardens. And, we don't want to just willy-nilly go plant, beautiful flowers, even though they might look pretty. But we want to think of things that are going to be beneficial to our environment, to our yard, and to our wildlife.
Absolutely. It's always good to have some sort of intention going into your planting. I've definitely done my fair share of, I'm just going to sprinkle these and see what happens. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there is some benefits to being more intentional, especially when it comes to supporting our pollinators.
Absolutely. And you may think this can't possibly be easy, but it actually can, thanks to Nina, who has kind of created a list of goals, so to speak, for us. So let's start with, you just spoke about pollinators. So a big part of that, as I've learned from you over the years and from the Illinois Extension, is native plants and how important those are.
Yes. And and people might go, what are native plants, right? So native plants are plants that are just native to the area. They have grown accustomed to the climate, to the soil conditions, to the weather. So what we have here in the Midwest, you won't find necessarily as native on the east or the west coast. Also, too, you talk about ease. They are incredibly easy a lot of times. Right now, even to find, there's a lot of groups that have them. I mean, I brought my own that I've collected. You can definitely find a lot of ease in terms of finding seeds, but also too, once you get them in the ground and they kind of take root, you don't have to water them. You can just enjoy the benefits of them. They're really self-sustaining and they really kind of help to promote that the pollinator populations.
Okay, and you said you brought some with you today.
Yeah,
so what are these?
So these are, this one here is swamp milkweed. So there's a couple different kinds of milkweed, but that's what you see floating around in my face. The little floaty guys. That's how they get out there. But I have that I planted for the first, I think it was actually a volunteer. And then we have some golden Alexander. I honestly don't remember what this one is.
You didn't write it on the bag.
Plant it and find out.
I don't remember what I didn't mark it. But there's plenty of groups like Wild Ones, Quad Cities, Mayhem Marsh has workshops and such, but you can easily find people who are very passionate in this realm to be able to help you get started on the native plant. And there's native plant events starting in May too.
Perfect.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for those as well. So I don't know if you can tell, but Nina's got monarch butterfly earrings. So another one of the goals is to support the monarchs because they're very, very beneficial for our environment.
Absolutely, yeah, and they are experiencing a pretty steady decline as well. And so and it's probably something everybody just loves to see when you're outside. So milkweed obviously is important. Milkweed is going to be our plant that's going to help with the host of the caterpillars, the eggs, etc. But we also want to plant plants that are going to be beneficial for the butterflies too, so nectar. So things like butterfly weed, asters, goldenrod, those types of things are going to be really beneficial and also going to be blooming throughout the summer months, summer and fall, to kind of help sustain them as well.
Okay, up next is adopt eco-friendly practices in your garden. And these are pretty easy as well. Okay, so this just essentially means try and ditch the pesticide types of stuff. There's also like green mulch that you can get as well.
Leave the leaves.
Leave
Yep.
the
So
leaves,
utilizing the leaves as mulch
And you
within your
talked
yards.
about that when we were losing all of our leaves on our trees.
We did,
You can put them right there in your garden.
And if they're still in your yard, you didn't get to clean them up in the fall, you don't necessarily have to clean them up. Remember, a lot of our insects like to hibernate in there, so just putting them back into the garden. And then yes, pesticides, if you can avoid those at all costs, they're just, you know, incredibly detrimental to our pollinators.
Okay.
And also to Mother Nature's creative in finding ways to handle a lot of the pests too.
Yeah.
If there's a good balance in your garden, you often have insects that are thriving on those.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure. Okay.
All right, so if you haven't already, maybe think about starting a compost bin.
Yeah, so we experience a lot of food waste here in general, and so that's one way that we can help reduce our food waste footprint, but then also to help to provide that soil benefit as well to your plants.
Start a compost, okay, and you can pretty much put anything in that compost. I mean,
there are some rules, you know, so you mentioned the extension. They have, I know, some great resources regarding composting. There's a delicate balance of enough brown material and, you know, food scraps. There's certain food scraps you can't put into the composting as well, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it's really super simple.
Really easy. Okay, and then work towards, I love this one, certifying your garden as a wildlife habitat, a certified wildlife habitat. So yes, this is something that you can do, and that is so cool.
Yeah, and so there's just there's a little checklist that you can go through, and you just have to meet one out of the different areas on the checklist. It's super simple. If you have questions, I'm absolutely available to help. People think that this is really extensive, but at the end of the day, I mean, my little patch that I have in my backyard is on its way to getting certified.
Oh, that's great.
It's $20 to certify.
It's affordable.
Yeah, and we get, and then it's on a one-time certification fee. We get a percentage of that. Prairie Rivers Network gets a percentage of that for the Illinois State affiliate. So. All
right, well, if you want more information on how to certify your garden or habitat to help wildlife where you live, you can visit certifiedwildlifehabitat.nwf.org, and we'll have that on our website as well. So Nina, thank you so much for sharing this information with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for watching.
Your News at 4 with Sharon coming up next. Have a great evening.